For those of you who have clicked this video, it may be the start of the most painfully boring few minutes of your life. But there will be some of you, even if it's a small number, who will suddenly have a huge nostalgia trip and will be thinking of this game with fond memories. You see, if you live in Europe, and if you think back to the late 90s and early 2000s, and you're a football fan, then the mega hit game Championship Manager will fill your hearts with so much joy and love that I bet you can imagine yourself playing it right now. For those not in the know, the Championship Manager series was a very successful football manager game. Whilst it sold incredibly well on PCs back in the day, it also did fairly well across the world too. After a messy split within the company, it divided into two parts, with one half keeping the Championship Manager title of the series and the other half taking the database, which was the real diamond of the franchise. The problem with this type of game is that due to the size of this database and the constant changing nature of it, console gamers had often looked on at envy at PC owning friends who could only run these games on their more powerful systems. They could also download patches to update the squads when players moved and get real-time stat updates. Whereas CD-based consoles like the PlayStation could handle this type of game due to the storage capacity format offered, there were some limitations, and this was especially the case on the Super Nintendo, and they were a pale comparison of their PC counterparts. In 1999, Gremlin Interactive stepped up to the challenge and released Premier Manager 64, a football manager game which very wisely by them was one of only a handful of PAL exclusive N64 titles. Essentially, you pick a team and you're the boss. You oversee everything from recruitment, selecting sponsors, developing your squad, and all the tactics and formation shuffles that would make even Brendan Rodgers impressed. The biggest problem with this N64 version though is that when compared to the PlayStation Premier Manager 99, almost all of the best features were stripped out in order to get the game to fit on the cart. The player photos are gone, and most importantly the number of teams is also much slimmer, resulting in Premier Manager 64 feeling almost like a demo at times. Gone are the pre-rendered videos and multiple music tracks, and most importantly the highlights have also been cut back with less detail and commentary. Of course, these are all features you could expect not to be in a cart-based game, but when you consider that Premier Manager on the Sega Mega Drive, released in 1995, had more features than the N64 version you're seeing right here, then you do start to wonder why so much was cut from this N64 release. Regardless though, the game is actually still fun to play. Because the rosters haven't been updated since the 1998 season, if you're a long-time footy fan, then you'll love the nostalgia trip of being able to manage your boyhood heroes once more. You'll also have the added knowledge of which players will go on to become world-class superstars, and so you can snap them up as teenagers and then have a world-class squad within a few years. The game is perhaps on the easy side though. If you're new to manager sims, then the game goes easy on you, and you'll find that you'll be tinkering away at no time at all and taking a team from the lower divisions to the Champions League final after no time at all. And if you've played Championship Manager or Player Manager though, then this game will not offer anywhere near the level of depth that you're used to. To set itself apart from the competition, it allowed you to see the highlights of the matches after they've happened, but for me personally it was more fun to watch the stats page in real time as the game goes on, and make changes and tactical switches as the game progresses. Everything controls well with the analog stick, and the menus and screens load quickly without some of the slowdown that the CD version contained. But in all honesty, if you're interested in this type of game, then the PC really should be the only platform to play it on. For collectors though, the good news is that this game is nowhere near that expensive to pick up, and so for today's topic of conversation, I want to know if you'd have picked this game up if it had been released in the country where you're from. Let me know in the comments section down below, and until next time.